Ladies and gentlemen, Convocation is now in session. As Chancellor, it's my pleasure to welcome you to our 293rd Convocation. To all our graduates, first let me say congratulations. You have worked hard to achieve this, and graduation represents a major milestone in your lives. At Convocation, we assemble as a community, the University of Western Ontario community, to celebrate and recognize your achievements at Western and to wish you every success for the future. However, your learning days are not over. Learning is a lifelong process, and Western has not provided you with the answers to all questions. At most, we hope that what stays with you is a way of thinking objectively and approaching problems with an open mind and a healthy respect for new ideas, all tempered with compassion and empathy for the human condition. You are forever a cherished member of this great university, founded more than a century ago, and we welcome you to the Western family. Again, congratulations to each and every one of you. Today, we also confer an honorary degree upon Roy Ernst in acknowledgement of his contributions to adult education, lifelong learning, the promotion of healthy and active aging, and particularly the worldwide New Horizons band movement. I'm delighted to welcome him to this convocation And to present our distinguished candidate, I would now call on Dr. Carol Bainan, School of Graduate and Postdoctoral Studies.
Roy Ernst. Mr. Chancellor, graduates, and honored guests, learning is a lifelong process. Could there be a more appropriate philosophy for the 800 new teachers graduating today? At this convocation, we honor Roy Ernst for his contributions to lifelong learning, healthy aging, and quality of life. Professor and former chair of music education at the prestigious Eastman School of Music in Rochester, Dr. Ernst received his doctorate from the University of Michigan in 1974. Before this, he taught in the public schools, and in 1984, he was visiting distinguished professor at the University of New South Wales. Upon retirement from the Eastman School, he served for 10 years as the Aesthetic Education Institute, affiliated with the Lincoln Center, where he was founder and director. Some 20 years ago, Dr. Ernst observed that the increasing numbers of retired adults were either uninvolved in meaningful activities, or if they were involved, they were activities that were not stretching their creative or intellectual capacities. He reasoned that involving seniors of all ages in musical instruction would help them feel that they were making important contributions once again, and they would be healthier intellectually, physically, socially, and emotionally. Learning to play a musical instrument requires both mental and manual skills. And for these reasons, the conventional wisdom was that it must be reserved for the young. Professor Ernst challenged this notion by setting up instructional programs for older adults who would learn not only to master an instrument, but to play in musical ensembles. Dr. Ernst founded the New Horizons International Music Project, in which beginners from 55 to 85 are picking up instruments to master for the first time. No matter what the age or competence of the individual, the philosophy of the New Horizons program is that the learning environment must be supportive and free of intimidation. The experienced instructors who conduct these programs encourage and accommodate individual needs, and their underlying premise is indeed Dr. Ernst's motto, "Your best is good enough." The result is a rich variety of New Horizons music programs that show that the capacity to learn new and complex things is possible and productive, whether one is 3 or 93. New Horizons musicians develop beyond simple musical competence. They are actually performing at a high degree of musical excellence to capacity audiences in concerts all across the country. They're traveling nationally and internationally. Having started at Western only 10 years ago under the auspices of the Don Wright Faculty of Music, our own London New Horizons band members, many of whom are sitting in today's convocation, have already made 2 concert tours to Europe and will be embarking on their 3rd this July. They prove that age need not be a factor in either learning or contributing to society. These are vibrant and musically gifted adults dedicated not only to their own musical excellence and increased intellectual capacity, but to using music education to create a healthier and better world. Western's New Horizon program currently serves approximately 200 people from this area. Worldwide, the movement is expanding with current estimates of 8,000 to 10,000 participants involved. Roy Ernst's inspiration has changed so many people's lives, creating a spirit of community, identity, and camaraderie. Through music education, Dr. Ernst has demonstrated both the personal and the social value of lifelong learning. No one need be afraid of tackling new and complex skills at any age. Mr. Chancellor, on behalf of the Vice Chancellor and in the name of Senate, I ask you to confer the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa, upon Roy Ernst, music educator, scholar, founder, and director of the New Horizons Intergenerational Music Project.
By virtue of the authority vested in me as Chancellor, I admit you to the degree Doctor of Laws, honoris causa. Congratulations, Dr. Ernst. Well deserved. Wonderful citation. And your degree.
Thank you.
That's good. Good luck. On behalf of all assembled here today, I should now like to invite our newest alumnus, Dr. Roy Ernst, to address Convocation.
I am so enormously honored by your recognition of my work and very honored to be an alumnus of this great university. Many of my most highly regarded colleagues and best friends are graduates of this university. And a simple thank you doesn't express what I'm feeling, but thank you. I'm also greatly honored to join with families, friends, and the faculty in celebrating this important milestone of everyone graduating here today. My own first graduation was in 1960, a long time ago. I've been around, as they say. I'm going to talk about making a difference. It's what most of you are all about. There was someone, probably many teachers, who made a big difference in your life. You admired that, and you decided that's what you want to do. I'm going to talk about a few people who made a big difference in my life and how they did it. And I'm going to start with my parents. My mom immigrated from Germany during the terrible economic conditions that followed World War I. She moved to join members of her family in the United States looking for a better world. My dad was raised by a foster family near Kitchener, Ontario, on a farm. He migrated to Detroit looking for the good life of working in the factories of Detroit. As a kid, I can remember traveling from Detroit back to this area, and it was a major trip at that time. We planned it for weeks. We repaired the car. We maybe got a couple new tires. And I remember one time when we went out and gave the car a fresh coat of paint with brushes so that it would have a nice fresh coat of paint. I'm really excited to be here, but I didn't paint the car last night. In our family, every dinner was a family meeting. We rarely didn't have dinner together. It was a time to talk about what we were doing. We were always doing a lot. We were building a home. We were repairing cars. We were raising our own food. Some of that's starting to come back again. And I want to tell you how important that was for me, and to encourage you, if you can do that, to recover some of that. Because I think it's tragic when kids come home, put a meal in the microwave, sit down in front of the TV, and don't talk to anyone. There is so much lost, and that has disappeared for some people more than a generation. So now no one really knows that it's a loss. And so if you can recapture that, that family dinner together, even if it's just a couple nights a week that you really set aside and make that a priority, can do so much. In our family, we didn't have a lot of money, so it was just assumed that we would work for anything we wanted. If we wanted a bike, we got a job, saved money, got a bike. The first professional instrument I got took me several years of working and saving to get. If you can afford to just give your kids everything and you do that, they miss out on a lot. They miss out on the opportunity to find out what it's like to work, to wait for a while, and then get something that they've acquired through their own effort. So if you can do that, I think it's really great for kids. Most of my teachers made really important differences in my life, and I don't have time to talk about all of them. I'll just talk about a few of them. My band director was a person who retired from the Detroit Symphony because he wanted to teach. And we have to remember that part of what we teach is who we are. I looked at him and I liked what I saw. He was a terrific musician. He loved teaching, and nothing seemed like work to him. He just loved everything he was doing. If he had a few moments free, he would say, "Hey, Roy, let's play some duets." And we'd play very hard duets, and he would play the flute duets on his trumpet, transposing everything, and never make a mistake. I was so amazed by that. But one of the best things he did was let me conduct the band. He let me conduct the band a number of times, and when he was absent, he would always leave instructions for the substitute to let Roy teach the class. And so on those snowy days when I'd like to see him, but if I thought he was going to be missing, boy, I would go through anything to get there to conduct the band. And so he gave me a taste of the real thing. And if you can do that in the subjects that you teach, try to do that. Jerome Bruner, an oceanographer, who was a main person in the educational reform movement of the 1960s, said, "You can teach any subject authentically at any level." I believe that. I believe that constantly giving kids tests on low-level cognitive skills is not an authentic activity. It does not exist in the real world. Professional musicians don't take low-level tests on cognitive skills every couple of weeks. They do music. And I'm very much for evaluation, but as much as you can, give students a taste of the real thing. It just might change their lives. They might fall in love with it. I attended Wayne State University as an undergraduate, and the professor of my piano class made kind of an accidental difference in my life. I was working hard to earn money for school, playing gigs 3 or 4 nights a week, teaching lessons perhaps 20 or 30 hours a week, and I was way, way behind on the long list of pieces I needed to play to pass the class. So I went in to her office at the end of the semester to play all these things, and I started out like this. Every piece was a slow dirge. After a little bit of this, I looked around and she was sleeping. I thought, what should I do? And I rationalized, she probably needs to sleep. She might be embarrassed if I woke her up. And so I let her sleep for about 10 minutes, then went to the last chord of the last piece, got it all lined up, and went. Said, "Well, that's it, Dr. Lincoln." And she said, thank you, Mr. Ernst. That's very good, thank you. So I guess the lesson from that might be, no matter how boring your student, try to stay awake, okay? I had a wonderful mentor at the University of Michigan. He was a legendary musician, but mostly I admired him for his diverse interests. He painted, he was interested in everything. There wasn't anything that he couldn't really take an interest in, and he liked nothing better than getting together with his students and having a good time playing chamber music with him. After his death, I returned to the University of Michigan a few months later for a program celebrating his life. And the auditorium was like this, and we arrived just before the program started. We sat down. My wife opened the program and said, "Do you know you're a speaker?" No, I didn't know I was a speaker. So my first eulogy was an improvisation, and it wasn't too hard to do because there was so much to say about him. I want to talk a little bit about how the arts, and music in particular, can make a difference in your lives. You have to take care of yourselves. And I'm going to talk about how music makes connections to life for people. Music makes connections to your past. Believe me, 50 years from now, you will hear music that you loved during this time, and it will reestablish connections to this time in your life. It's a wonderful thing to do that. It makes connections to the present because it's what you have to do today. There's something significant to do. That's important for all of us, but especially is important for people who have left a career because there's a void in their life. So to have music to do as a challenging activity is really important. It connects people to the future. And I was thinking about this when I started the New Horizons program. It's important to have things to look forward to think about a concert coming up, or a music camp to go to, or a trip to take. Believe me, the members of the New Horizons band here in London have been planning this trip to the Scandinavian countries this year, and thinking about the future has been very much on their minds. Music can connect you to other people. I've met people here in London who say, you know, my best friends now are people that I met in the band. There's no possible way I would have met them in any other way. And it connects people to others that they know in other regions around the country. Everybody has friends in different cities all over. There have even been some marriages in New Horizons bands. The first one was between two people, both age 80, who met in the saxophone section and got married. And they told me they were practicing safe sax. Really. There's so much fun in these groups. I'll just share a little bit of that with you. I was conducting one time and I made a mistake. And I stopped to say, "Oh, I'm sorry, that was my fault." Someone said, "It's okay, nobody was watching." And the conductor of the Madison New Horizons band had been watching the New York Philharmonic, admiring Zubin Mehta, and especially a flourish that he made at the end of a piece. And so he practiced that a whole lot in front of a mirror, and he was very happy with himself. And at band camp, he ended this piece with that great flourish. And he proudly said to the band, "What famous New Yorker does that remind you of?" And in a split second, someone said, "Richard So we have fun. Doing music is a very healthy activity for your mental ability. When you're playing music, sometimes you're reading maybe 10 notes per second. Each note has many factors to it. That all needs to be read, translated, turned into fine motor skills, and that doesn't start to make music yet. Then you have to add a creative element to that to make music out of it. So when people are playing music, they are fully engaged in that. You never think about anything else when you're doing music. I mean, we don't need to say that, but talk to people who have been playing music. They won't be thinking about the fact that they bounced a check or anything like that, or they just had a fight with someone. You become totally involved in the world of music by what it takes. It also gives us an opportunity to be challenged, to feel that we are accomplishing very worthwhile things in our lives, and to be creative and to express feelings. I remember one New Horizons musician who was talking about the grief that she had after her husband died. And she told me about one particular piece. She said, I played this piece over and over and over, and everything came out. So there are things that you can express in music that can't be expressed in words. And it's wonderful to be able to do that. I also want to tell you that you can experience these things through other activities, through the other arts. You can experience some of these things, maybe all of these things. You can experience them through other group activities. I mean, if you play in a baseball team or if you bowl, you might be experiencing some of these things. But music does all of these things, and it does it extremely well. Now, I want to comment that even though there are some wonderful programs for adults, and I hope New Horizons is one of them, that we're just scratching the surface. And there is so much to be done. So at some time in your careers, try to find time to teach adults. You will find that it's the most pure form of teaching and learning without needs for tests, grades, or any of those other extrinsic motivational devices, and that it can be pure joy for you as a teacher. So put it on your list of things to do. I also want to say that there's a real need in our lives for balance, to not let our lives become taken over by technology. I have a real hate-love relationship with my computer. I love it because I can do things I could never do before, and I couldn't get by without it. But I hate it because it's always trying to take over my life, okay? And it's so easy for the end of the day to come around and think that all you've done is spent most of your time with that computer. So I'm saying, really think about that and think about how balance is important to your life. Go out and ride your bike. Go see a friend and talk to an actual person instead of sending them email or something else. Do something away from that computer. I want to close by quoting Krista McAuliffe, the teacher astronaut who died in a failed shuttle attempt. She said, I touch the future. I teach. Those words mean a lot to me. I hope they do to you. I touch the future. I teach. So I know that you're going to make a big difference in the lives of many people, and it will be a difference that will extend beyond generations. And I wish you the very best luck and tell you that it's been wonderful for me to be here with you today. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ernst, for an uplifting address. You have brought newfound pleasures to thousands who have discovered the joys of making music as true amateurs. For the thrill of discovery as they expand their own capabilities and interests, and their interaction with others who are discovering the same pleasures. New Horizons is a true community builder with the additional value that it stimulates and broadens the horizons of everyone involved. We are delighted today that so many of our local and regional members of New Horizons are here this morning as we celebrate together your new status as an honorary alumnus of the University of Western Ontario. And I should say, I once conducted a rehearsal of our New Horizons band here at Western, and I could see firsthand the joy and pride in the eyes of the performers. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me once again in congratulating Dr. Roy Ernst. Will the candidates for degrees please stand? Mr. Chancellor, I'm honored to present to you the candidates who have successfully completed their academic programs at Western. I ask you to admit them to the degrees and diplomas for which they have been recommended by the Senate of our university.
Under the authority vested in me by the Senate, you will be admitted to the degrees and diplomas as shall be announced by the public orators.
Will the candidates please be seated? Mr. Chancellor, graduating students, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, Convocation is the single most important time of celebration in the life of the University of Western Ontario. Today we honor those graduating students who, through determination, hard work, and intelligence, have met the demanding standards of a Western degree. We also honor their families, including their parents, spouses, and children who have played such an important role in helping our graduating students to reach the milestone which our ceremony today represents. Those of you who crossed the stage today will be joining a special group, Western alumni, who number more than 240,000 people around the world. Ms. Carolyn Chambers, president of our Alumni Association, is here today, and I would ask her please to stand and be recognized. Western's Board of Governors is charged with responsibility for the overall governance of this institution. Today, representing our board, we have with us Mr. Jim Knowles, an outstanding community leader here in London. I would ask him, please, to stand and be recognized. And let me offer a special thank you to the parents, spouses, children, relatives, and friends who are here today to join in our celebration of academic achievement. Without your support, our students in many cases might not have been able to complete their academic programs. So I ask that our graduating students please rise once again, turn around and face your family and friends, and give them a round of applause for the love and support that made this day possible. Now let me congratulate once again the remarkable women and men who graduate today with Western degrees. Today you become partners in the outstanding academic achievements of the University of Western Ontario. I charge you then, as graduates of a distinguished Canadian institution, never to forget the great benefits you have acquired in this place, and to remember always that wherever you go, you carry with you the good name of the University of Western Ontario. This will be my last week of convocations at Western. On June 30, I will retire after being your president for 15 years. During that time, I have watched our university transformed by the dedication and hard work of our faculty, staff, students, and alumni. I offer all of them, and you, my most profound thanks. And to our graduating students, please accept my warmest wishes to each and every one of you. Before we proceed with the ceremonies, I have two special requests for those of you in the audience. First, please withhold your applause for the graduates crossing the platform until each group of graduates has received degrees. This will ensure that every graduate receives our full courtesy throughout the ceremony. Second, we know that photographs are an important memory of this occasion to the graduates and their families. To ensure that you in the audience have the best opportunity to get good pictures, I ask you to do the following. When your special graduate is about 40 names in the program from crossing the stage, that's 40, please proceed to the area along the wall to my right. And the ushers will guide you forward in order that you may capture your special moment with your camera. I now call on the public orators to introduce the candidates for degrees.
Mr. Chancellor, the following are candidates from the Faculty of Graduate and Postdoctoral Studies for the degree Doctor of Philosophy. Roger Frank Fisher. Trudy Claire Medcalf. Carolyn Joan Thompson. Deanie Ann Van Pelt. Mr. Chancellor, the following are candidates for the degree Master of Education. Kinful Lartibia Arye, Michelle Lee Baldwin, Jennifer E. Caron. Jill Maureen Carter, Janice Conran, Allison Cook. Michelle Leanne Easton, Jennifer Flynn, Stephen Floyd. Julie Ann Garretts, Sarah Elaine Gibson McDermott, Janine Laurie Hack. Benjamin James Hazard, Andrea Michelle Hernandez, Michael Angelina Irene Juris. Vicky Y. Key Lee, Rebecca Teresa Machado, Marianne Narji, John Wayne Noftel, Holly Parkinson, Blake Aaron Passfield. Janice Pennycook, Cheryl Ray, Tisneem Salugje, Tina Shrigley, Jennifer Sinsel, Jim Slee. Jessica Ellen Tikar, Robin Leanne Pougeron, Tamara Nicole Vanderveen, David Willoughby, Letitia Anne-Marie Jansen, Sarah Kristen Uremko. Rodney Zimmerman, Anika Altman, Simeon Blackbird, Craig Joseph Bunda, Linda Lou Classens, Catherine Am, Hampshire. Joanne Veronica Henry, Darlene Holmes, Kevin Lee Joseph Lemure, Jeanette Richmond, Muriel Celeste Sampson, John Kennedy Snake, Margaret Evelyn Tucker, Alicia Ann Whiteeye, Patricia Lynn Whiteeye,
Mr. Chancellor, the following are candidates from the Faculty of Education for the degree Bachelor or Baccalaureate of Education. Jennifer Ann Aberdeen, Miriam Alkabir, Tracy Nicole Allen. Heather Ambos Cooney, Mark David Amores Hudson, Danielle Christopher Anderson. Jordan Alexander Andrew, Nicole Krista Aristone, Megan Armstrong. Sina Edith Jessica Armstrong, Christina Danielle Ashley, Adam Babcock. Caitlin Amanda Bacon, Nicole Bailey, Ashley Elizabeth Curtis Bain. Jennifer Victoria Barber, Quincy Barker, Stephanie Basso. Jamie Bayshard, Silvona Beach, Candace Barrett. Carole Belanger, Heather Bellhouse, Megan Benson. Jocelyn Claire Beranger, Lindsay Rebecca Berberich, Rosie Barras. Alexis Bergamo, Crystal Berwick, Stephanie A. Betancourt. Rupali Bhatt, Barinder Bhatti, Danielle Bhopal Singh. Christopher Allen Bignell, Bradley Bluche, Andrea Bobier. Beatrix Bocazar, Andrea Elizabeth Jean Bodner, Andrew Bomberry. Renata Bonacia, Andrea Noel Bondi, Joel Booker. Abigail Borland, Allison Bray, Sarah Broadfoot. Christopher Dean Brown, Lauren Elsie Brown, Megan Brown. Natalie Michelle Brown, Amanda Elizabeth Bruce, Jennifer Lynn Bruder.
Ladies and gentlemen, I do understand your enthusiasm, but when your enthusiastic outbursts make it impossible to hear the names being read, that's very unfair. Please try to resist.
William Adrian Bejean, Beverly Ann Bunker, Ashley Busbridge. Mara Cassandra Butcher, Kevin Warren Butler, Samantha Bizok. Charlene Ann Camilo, Bethany Marie Campbell, Shauna Campbell. Jennifer Jane Cardillo, Charlene Nicole Carmichael, Adrian Michael Carr. Rebecca Carrick, Erica Ann Carroll, Danielle Christine Carter. Victoria Lee Castellani, Alexander Can, Diane Feliciano Kananen. Jessica Chekchi, Jennifer Chacko, and Kyle Chambers. Danielle Sharon, Siham Sumaya Chaudhry, Janet Ruth Clark. Kyle Robert Clark, Catherine Iron Joy Clayland, Kristen Cloutier. Lauren Evelyn Connolly, Robin Cooling, Gianna Ashley Coppola. Stephanie Cortez, Carrie Lynn Cottrell, Stephanie Angela Covello. Jody Coward, David Michael Cox, Jenna Coxon. Laura Michelle Craig, Eric Crawford, Lindsay Ann Crawford. Sabrina Crawford, Dana Cressman, Samantha Crew. Kate May Croft, Holly Emily Patricia Curry, Luis Antonio da Costa. Meredith Christine Defoe, Adrian Dale, Leonardo D'Alucio. Angela Ashley Daly, Duke Min Dam, Kathy Daniela D'Amico. Sarah Daneshvar Jaromi, Teresa Data, Zane Ross Davies. Kimberly Ruth Davy, Jenna Dearlove, Nicole Kathleen DeCoeur. Matthew DeMello, Andrea Jalez de Mendoza, Melissa Renee de Pompa. Ashley Eileen DeJong, Jenna Delgobo, Kaylee Ann DeMarco.
Thanks, Fred. We're switching over. Okay, that's great. Do you want me to do these? No. Okay, yeah, good. Thanks.
Anne Denemy, Sarah DiCarlo, Aaron Alexander Dick. Lisa Carmelo Diorio, Danielle Dion, Sumudu Disanayaka. Andrea Domokos, Lena Maria dos Santos, Sean Gareth D'Souza. Chelsea Dupuy, Stephen Dileg, Joanna Gijovic. Michael Douglas Eady, Alexandra Rosemary Easton, Jenna Eddington. Christine Elliott, Kirsten Marika Elsie, Katarzyna Elson. Angela Rita Esposito, Samantha Lorraine Fallowfield, Amanda Fian. Anthony Feliciani, Christina Ferreira, Tasha Ann Felice. Constance Margaret Philitry, Thomas Edward Nels Fink, Kristen Marjorie Foran. Julianne Ruth Foster, Aaron Fox, Michael Scott Moss Fraser. Andrew Craig Fulton, Andrew David Craig Gadsby, Carole Marie-Thérèse Gagné, Jenny Gallagher, Jason Arthur Garamone, Peter Raymond Galatly, Kyle Francis Garatti, Melissa Lynn Girardi, Melissa Loretta Ann Goddard, Jason Eric Gonzalez, Allison Graham, Heidi Grevin, Amanjat Kaur Grewal, Peter Christopher Gubbles, Martin Costello, Aaron Grange, Sarah Grube, Laura Grundy, Sophie Hermione Guzet, Ona Maria Gutozgas, Sarah Lynn Haas, Erica Hackler, Jacqueline Louise Hamilton, Graham Harden, Matthew Harper, Rachel Hart, Jade Haskins, Nicole Havens, Jenna Marie Hegler, Carly Hepburn, Michael Hernandez, John David Hebert, Bonnie Lynn Antone Hill. Jeremy Hills, Jennifer Hinton, Elijah Kale Hoffman. Danielle Horman, Anthony Howell, Nicole Lynn Husk. Julie Irene Hutnick, Antonio Ngolia, Andrew Philip Ionata. Heather Leah Ireland, Carrie Isaac, Renee Lynn Isabel Partridge. Martina Huina Jackson, Haley Jennings, Megan Jillian Jennings. Ariadne Louise Jevnikar, Amanda Johnson, Vanessa Yang Johnson. Nicole Jones, Trevor Jones, Hannah Katava. Benjamin Kajast, Monica Kappa, Rochelle Jacqueline Kelly. Amy Michelle Kendrigan, Christine Danielle Kerr, Jeannie Hei-Jean Kim. Teresa King, Cynthia Dawn Klinowski, Alexis Juliana Kobzar.
We're going to change now. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a long degree group. I'm sure there is pent-out applause in there for the first half of the alphabet. At least let's give a round of applause.
Can you take it over from me now?
Michael Koloje, Amanda Louise Catherine Kuntz, Maria Shireen Kurtz. Susan Wing Lam Kwok, Danielle Labrie, Nicole Marie Lacasse. Rebecca Christine Lay King, Joseph William Lamon, Andrew Lang. Janine Langley, Alicia Ann Lapointe, Danielle Larche. Polly Po Yi Lau, Crystal May Liel, Philip Leggett. Crystal Liney, Amber Lenahan, Justin LaRue. Don't make me have to go over. Aaron Lindsay Ledlow, Craig Leslie, Catherine Leocosis. Geneviève Marie Lipp, Kelly Lippert, Robin Nikki Bronwyn Rossiter Liscombe. Michelle Logan, Stuart Loker, Julie Lopriato. I know this. Cremilda de Jesus Lorero, Susanna Lau, Emily Megan Lubers. Crystal McDonald, Martin McIntyre, Mary Kathleen McLean. Melissa Amy McPherson, Morgan Mainguy, Gregory Millette. Dennis Christopher Mallon, Danielle Mancini, John Richard Mancini. I don't want to choke. It's the initials on the other side. CJ Mandrapilius, Melissa Mann, Helen Mapp. Danielle Elaine Markham, Heather Marr, Christy Alexis Cassandra Marshall. Leah Mason, Mary Bridget Ann Helen Matish, Miranda McAuliffe. G. Christy McBurney, Amanda McCann, Kathleen Rebecca McCang. Ashley Lauren McCarl Palmer, Leanna McCrate, Darcel Deborah Dawn McCutcheon. Kristen Alexandra McDonald, Catherine Lynn McFadden, Jacqueline McGinnis. Robert William Morris McElveen, Caitlin Ann McIntosh, Vanessa McIntosh. Allison Dawn McIntyre, Kaylee Danielle McKellar, Emily Marie McLaughlin. Rebecca Nicole McLeod, Trevor Ryan McTavish, Nicole Amanda Medeiros. Danielle Meisenheimer, Melissa Mellis, Kayla Melfi. Peter Joseph Melkonian, Marie Merriman, Alan Meachis. Melissa Miller, Erin Kathleen Miller, Sandra Jean Miller. Celine Janine Mills, Jennifer Dawn Mission, Lena Mystery. Jennifer Ann Mitchell, Kristen Moyer, Jessica Molinar. Nitu Momi, Rachel Marie Monk, Reza Mula. Jennifer Ashley Moretta, Neil Morgan, Reagan Angela Morris. Marielle Morrison, Heather Christine Mudge, Brian Munshaw. Marielle Murphy, Utah Marie Neller, Tiffany Eng. Yvonne Ninehouse, Stefania Okuto, Sophia Marie Oleksian. John Willem Osorin, Tara Lynn Pagnuti, Shannon Lee Doreen Payment. Kevin Edward Paquette, Nicole Partipeo, Neil Patterson. Kaylee Francis Patterson, Trinity Ann Paul, Jenna Marie Pawlowski. Melissa Renee Pierce, Patricia Pereira, Lauren Elizabeth Peterson. Lac Hung Fee, Andrew Phillips, Marilyn Prefontaine. Alma Prendy, Melissa Justine Prevost, Trinka Pusalis. David Rakin, Carrie Rollo, Nail Ramadan.
Rebecca Rauda, Jana Michelle Rausch, Candace Darlene Raymond. Andriana Marie Rene Decotre, Rita Catherine Rice Bowers, Stephen William Richards. Jonathan Richardson, Samantha Jane Riddle, Jessica Ridley. Stacy Lee Riley, Samantha Lynn Ritchie, Karina de Fatima Rivas. Chris Robb, Michelle Tammy Robb, David Thomas Robinson. Megan Robson, Teresa Rock, Christy Nicole Rumer. Cecilia Ude Rosarius, Joanna Wendy Rosenwag, Maria Ruvas. Stephanie Margaret Claire Rowe, Erin Lindsay Roy, Michelle Ruddy. Ashley Amber Jane Rule, Elisa Ann Rapoli, Alan Rossett. Thomas Scott Rutledge, Rochelle Vivian Ryan, Jason San Miguel. Katie Ann Santandrea, Roy Satmaka, Caitlin Savard. Jenna Shuffleberger, Casey Schiestel, Laura Marie Schilling. Stefan Walter Schneider, Angela Schwartz, Julie Scott. Kristen Scott, Bobby Segmiller, Jessica Jan Sharp. Miriam Elizabeth Shaw, Katrina Marie Shelton, Rita Shields. Minna Shin, Kelly Dion Shrum, Diane Silvera. Jacqueline Sineve, Christelle Siro, Vanessa Six. Julia Catherine Skopik, Cheryl Lynn Diane Smith, Emily Smith. Christy Smith, Megan Elizabeth Soltisiak, Stephanie Stankovich. Chaslyn Stevenson Hastings, Domenica Stilitano, Simon Tobias Strasser. Jacqueline Stripe, William Thomas Stroder, Sarah Elizabeth Stroud. Sarita Indira Swami, Melissa Nicole Simons, gold medalist, Maggie Manting Sato. Giannina Faye Tablada, Boyana Tadic, Cassie Elizabeth Taminga. Aldo Tarashi, Kelly Tarkowski, Jill Taylor. John Taylor, Sheila Nicole Taylor, Angelina Joan Tabokel.
Forget about the seat. It's just stay over readings.
Jessica Curran Teachman, Joshua James Tellier, Irene Theoharides. Jennifer Tomei, Sandra Mariana Thiessen, Kalina Tidd. Mandy Tour, Katie Ann Trask, Nicholas James Roger Tudhope. Elizabeth Marie Turford, Candace Audrey Mary Turner, Melody Ann Umanetz.
Yeah. And this is Oy Blanco.
Nicole Ungaro, Jordan Stewart Rao Urbanek, Beverly Oigonko.
That's about you.
Chantel Valier, Jillian Marie Valvasori, Sarah Marie van der Westen. Kimberly Michelle Van Leeuwen, Kelly Nicole Van Omen, Teresa Louise Van Sass. Bethany Van Weingarten, Ashley Vanderpool, Rosemary Vanderhoven. Susan Elizabeth Verilas, Adam Raymond Verhovey, Stephen Verziden. Yep. Antonina Vicari, Niraja Vignaraja, Daniela Mina Vitti. Jessica May Vivian, Jennifer Lynn Vokey, Daniel Burton Verancic. Caitlin Patricia Wallace, Alexander Wasick, Emily Wasalisha. Michael Waterman, Oriana Watts, Jillian Webster Groenewagen. Amanda Jane Weigel, Laura Way, Ashley Wilkinson. Cindy Jean Willits, Sarah Jane Witzak, Dawn Marie Wharton. Aaron Lorraine Young, James Graham Bruce Young, Stephanie Yufun Moy. Nina Zaidi, Maciej Zartreski, Anahita Zelenko. Susan Zifchuk.
Just one at a time, and we'll just shake the hands.
Yeah.
So that's exactly what you were reading.
Okay. Mr. Chancellor, the following are candidates for the Diploma in Education Technological Studies. Darren Alfred Davis, posthumously awarded, represented by his wife, Tracy. Daniel Baker. Andrew Bartlett. Stephen Close. Nicole Marie DeBeyer. Zito Economides, William Fenton, Paul Andrew Helleman. Helena Maria Hodgins, Christopher Michael Howells, Robert Kobielski. Peter James Lesko, Dwayne Edward McKigan, Charles Michael Peterson. Todd Pierce, Darren Posabon, Eric Priest. Rachel Jean Quinton, Kara Sue Slatnick, Jenny Patricia Story. Sheila Weld.
The authority vested in me by the Senate, I granted the registrar the authority to confer degrees and diplomas to those candidates whose names appear in the official program, but who are not present today. Now, at this time, I would like to invite Ms. Carol Lynn Chambers, President of our Alumni Association, to say a few words.
Thank you, Mr. Chancellor. Graduates, congratulations and welcome to Alumni Western. As you walked across the stage, you moved from being students at Western to becoming members of our Alumni Association. And you join a growing global community of Western alumni, numbering more than 240,000, as Dr. Davenport said, one of the largest among Canadian universities. In fact, you'd have to travel to about 136 countries to meet all of them. As alumni, we're united by our memories and our time here, and particularly the knowledge and the friendships that we gained. And the Alumni Association is dedicated to fostering those important bonds and preserving them through the many programs, services, and networking opportunities that we offer. But we're also important stakeholders in this institution, contributing our social, intellectual, and leadership capital to its advancement and excellence. I'm sure that you've found through your own experiences that, true to its mission, Western does provide the best student experience, and as key stakeholders in Western, we believe that Western provides us the best alumni experience as well. Today, I invite you to join us in living the vision of our association, to share a lifelong commitment, pride, and passion for Western. On behalf of the Alumni Association, I congratulate all of you on your achievement today and welcome you most warmly to Western's Alumni Association. More immediately, I invite you to carry on and continue your celebration, bringing your guests to a reception in your honor being held in the atrium at the UCC. From Alumni Western and from me, sincere congratulations on your achievement today and best wishes for the future. And don't forget to come home now and then. The door is always open here. Congratulations.
Before closing convocation, I wish to express my appreciation to all who have contributed to the success of the day. And in particular, and on your behalf as well, I want to thank the University of Western Ontario Convocation Brass for their magnificent performance and their director, Professor James Mackay. May I request that the audience remain in your seats while the academic procession leaves the hall. Convocation is now adjourned. Madam, how about the marathon? Well, this afternoon will be pretty big this afternoon. Yeah. Oh, have they? Yeah, okay.
So a lot of those names are people who had their ceremonies. And
Okay.
few people have had theirs as well.
Have they? So they don't show?
No.